The story is set in a future world, where the government just needs virtuoso citizens to live in their country. For this, they embed an embryo in all ladies. The moms are given the obligation to bring up the kids to turn into A-grade students. In the event that a child gets passing marks, he and his mom are given an apartment in a selective complex. Such moms are likewise awarded a golden pin for their commitment to society. The ones who don't get good grades need to live in ghettos called the pigeon cage. First, a mother is being embedded with incipient new embryo. After the cycle, she is given a manual on the best way to raise the embryo. She is approached to adhere to the rules appropriately. Yang Chuan is the top mother who has raised the smartest student they have at any point had named Ruo Jia. Tragically, he was killed in an accident a long time back. Following that, she was embedded with a subsequent embryo and brought forth Nova. As of now, she is in a ceremony being granted for her book on how a mother can assist their children with getting good grades. Chuan is viewed as the best mother by a lot of people. A lady in the crowd asks her the mystery to bring up A-grade kids. The inquiry shocks Chuan, so she stays calm. The presenter guarantees that the inquiry is private, so she wouldn't need to respond to it. Obviously Chuan is concealing something. Elsewhere, the higher authorities of the states are discussing the flood in the number of narcoleptic children. Such children are taken to the progression programs and eliminated by the state, pronouncing them as flawed embryos. Scientist Yi Shen sees that every one of the students experiencing rest issues have scored not exactly the least norm. He comes to an obvious conclusion and figures out that the students who score low are dishonestly diagnosed, so the state could dispose of them. When he goes up against his bosses about the matter, they dishonestly blame him for running an underground insubordinate association against the state. He is not long arrested. Chuan is with her little girl strolling to their condo later. The program, close by them, the students with low scores and their moms are being taken someplace by the guards. Out of nowhere, a lady comes rushing to them, yelling that the students will be killed. They frenzy and decline to go with the guards. As the crowd gets greater, they begin to take off, making turmoil. In the midst of it, Chuan's scarf falls to the floor. After the commotion ends, Nova offers to wash the scarf en route to the restroom. The specialist Yi Shen's mom, Ling Na, perceives Nova as Chuan's girl. She appears to know something about Chuan, however doesn't uncover it to the young lady. She just gives her a keychain and says that it is a gift from her late older brother. A befuddled Nova gets back to her mom and finds her watching the news on a big screen. It says that Yi Shen was conflicting with the state and its system, so he was executed. His mom has additionally eliminated from the rundown of top moms due to his deeds. Nova perceives the lady as the person who gave her the keyring. Since she doesn't enlighten her mom concerning the experience, at home, Nova's tutor teaches her the first cloning process for her impending tests. Nova isn't quite so tenacious as her older brother, which stresses Chuan. She maintains that her girl should score A+ at any expense, since, if she doesn't, they should surrender every one of their privileges. In addition, she is viewed as the best mother in the city, so her little girl not improving grades are embarrassing for her. After the class, the tutor honestly tells her that he figures Nova won't finish the following text since her grades have been falling consistently. One of the lights in Chuan's top mother pin goes out. She imagines that it is a result of a technical issue, yet the teacher explains that the lights go off when one's child doesn't perform well. Since Chuan's children had consistently had the best grades till now, she had hardly any familiarity with the component. The light humiliates her, so she wears a scarf to conceal it. Following her meeting with the tutor, she brings Nova to the pigeon cage where every person with low grades reside. She needs her girl to experience the existence she will have if she isn't great at studies. In her heart, Chuan knows that she couldn't care less about her kid. She is just stressed over the embarrassment she will confront if she needs to leave the high rise. The next day, Chuan needs to go shopping for food. Humiliated by her pin, she attempts to put it down, however it blasts a caution telling her that she ought to wear it wherever she goes. She productively conceals it with a scarf and goes to the store, however, a lady sees it regardless. She asks if her girl is getting good grades. Chuan straightforwardly lies and says that Nova is showing improvement than ever. On getting back, she observes a lady getting removed from the apartment building since her child's grade. She blames her child for not being great enough. The lady had been living in extravagance for the beyond 15 years, and presently she needs to make a daily existence in the ghettos. Chuan holds her pin firmly, seeing that she could go through exactly the same thing in the future. Afterward, she checked Nova giving a test through her tablet. Nova is noticeably struggling to answer questions, which stresses Chuan considerably more. Not long, the second light in her pin additionally goes off. Presently, she has just 3 lights to go before she needs to leave the apartment and surrender her honors. The following day at school, Nova acts peculiar. She continues to squirm with her pen. Furthermore, books. When the person behind her asks that she not move so a lot, she attacks him. When the teacher asks that she not be rude, she lets him know his class is boring. Everybody is astonished at her way of behaving, since she is generally exceptionally delicate and decent. The following day, Chuan carries her to the hospital to have her looked at. She is determined to have ADHD. The doctor asserts that the pressure of tests could have been the reason for the problem. He cautions Chuan to take good care of her little girl since, supposing that the condition deteriorates, she could go into wretchedness. The following day at school, Nova coincidentally hits her teacher on the leg while sweeping the floor. She doesn't apologize for her mix-up and on second thought, lets him know he ought to watch where he is going. The discussion heightens rapidly and the teacher holds her arm asking that she apologize. Nova runs away and takes steps to leap off the building. She is come by her classmate Chi Jung finally. Chuan basically brings her home and serves her supper. The fact that Chuan has asked makes it then uncovered Nova claims to have ADHD so they can use it so as to stay away from the forthcoming tests. Chuan says she is glad for her acceptable acting. The following day is Nova's birthday. Chuan needs her to destroy every one of the presents that her classmates give her. Nova is hesitant since she would rather not hurt her friends, yet Chuan convinces her to carry a razor to school. At school, Nova's friends wish her blissful birthday. She understands what she needs to do, however she can't force herself to hurt them. Chuan watches her on a PC as she takes care of the razor and tenderly opens her presents. Following that, Chi Jung and Nova discussed her odd conduct yesterday. She claims that she was simply anxious as a result of the test. Chi Jung asks as to whether she is being pressured by her mom, however, she claims that her mom is exceptionally helpful, and she could never pressure her. On arriving at home, Nova apologizes to her mom. She would rather not pretend to have ADHD any longer, also claims that she will learn the books with a vengeance to get good grades, all things considered. Later around evening time, she shows her mother the keyring that the weird lady had given her in the restroom. Chuan is stunned to see it, however doesn't uncover its importance. She just requests that her girl study. A flashback shows us that the keyring was high quality by her late child Ruo Jia as a birthday present for her. However, she asks that he stop making such ridiculous things and focus on his studies. Back in the present, Nova begins to study harder than any time in recent memory and stops claiming to have ADHD. At some point, she is again approached by the worn-out lady, Ling Na. She has learned about Nova's ADHD diagnosis and inquires as to whether she truly has it or was it her mom's plan. She uncovers that as indicated by the manual, the students with ADHD are viewed as imperfect embryos. They are sent off a progression program where they are subtly dispensed with. In the event that a student gets terrible grades, both he and his mom are sent off the ghettos. Nonetheless, if students have abandons like ADHD, they are sent off progression programs and the moms can in any case partake in their old privileges. Chuan has been encouraging Nova to pretend since she needs to keep her privileges, regardless of whether it is at the cost of her little girl's life. Nova is in dismay. Moreover, she is informed that her brother, Ruo Jie's death wasn't an accident. She contends that he was the smartest student cross-country, so that can't be possible. Sometime thereafter, she reads the article about Ruo Jie's death and figures out he was hit by a truck. She then goes to meet the truck driver who claims he was controlled by her mom to assume the blame. Nova at last understands that her mom had something to do with his death. The following day, she asks as to whether he realizes about the progression program that kill people. He requests her to stop since discussing it is unlawful. Chi Jung lives in the ghettos, so he knows everything about the state's unjustifiable program. Chuan sees them talking through the CCTV cameras. Furthermore, goes to meet Chi Jung the following day. She requests that he avoid her little girl. However, Chi Jung's mother goes to bat for her child, believing that he can talk with whoever he wants. In the wake of figuring out she will not long be sent off the progression program, Nova takes off from home and goes to Chi Jung's home. His mom carries her to a mystery tunnel that drives them to a camp of survivors of the progression program. It was laid out by Ling Na after her child's execution. She thinks that each kid has something they are great at and grades don't characterize their value. Consequently, she has laid out this area to offer those children a chance to do anything that they appreciate. Everybody at the camp is good to Nova, yet she feels like she is double-crossing her mom by remaining there. When no one is looking, she leaves them a message and takes off. In the message, she offers her thanks to them and vows to not inform others regarding the camp. When she arrives at home, Chuan basically asks her to have her supper. Nova apologizes for letting her down and vows to study harder. She inquires as to whether she adores her, yet Chuan doesn't respond to her. Afterward, Nova is in the shower when she feels bleary-eyed. She tumbles to the ground and hauls herself out. When she wakes up, she winds up in an emergency bed. She is declared a faulty embryo and sent off the progression program to be executed. Next, as we see Chuan being embedded with another embryo. When she awakens after the transfer, she winds up in the tunnel that prompts the survivor camp. Ling Na inquires as to whether she is blissful subsequent to killing 2 of her children. She asserts that her third one will grow to be something very similar. Chuan actually doesn't withdraw and affirms that she has won this battle. She gets back and will keep the apartment alongside every one of her privileges. She even writes a book about losing 2 kids and benefits off it. A flashback shows us that Ruo Jia wanted to be a craftsman, however Chuan didn't uphold his dream. He in the end got discouraged, which prompted his death. She likewise illuminates the police about Ling Na's mystery camp getting each of the students captured. Eventually, she is in an interview to advance her new book. She checks the camera and says that assuming you truly care about something to occur, there is dependably a way. The end. If you like this story, please subscribe to the channel and like it to motivate me to bring you more stories like this.